So I've recently made it to a milestone. I've stopped drinking for 2 full years. Now in this video, I won't spend too much time talking about my journey to stopping drinking, but very quickly, just to summarize, I drank alcohol for around 10 years. I was a big binge drinker and I blacked out quite regularly. I had tried using willpower more times than I can remember. I tried going to AA and admitting I was powerless. I thought I had an addictive disease and I was desperate for a solution. What I'm about to say may well sound odd to some people, but I don't actually count the days, and I never have done. I do have an app on my phone that I've looked at a few times, but that's mainly to write posts on Facebook. That's about as far as it goes. Now the reason why is because if I was busy counting the days, that would make me think that I had made a genuine sacrifice. But I have not made a genuine sacrifice. I stopped poisoning myself and I was a non-drinker from day one. These days I understand alcohol exactly for what it is. And therefore deciding to stop drinking was a simple and logical choice. Either way, there was a point in my journey when I was trying to find a solution to my drinking problem. If I saw a video that said I'd stopped drinking for 2 years, I would have watched it. So I want to share my experience for those people that have stopped or are on their journey to stopping. And guys, at the end of the video, I'm actually going to explain how you can work with me on a one-to-one basis to go through the exact same process that I went through. But for now, I want to share the amazing things that have changed my life since stopping. Guys, the first thing is you get a boatload more clarity. Clarity, or the ability to think clearly. Well, when I drank alcohol, this was more or less non-existent. I felt as though I was coasting through life. I was just kind of going through the motions and just about getting through things. Rarely could I ever sit down, make plans, make goals, journal, and do all of that good stuff. I just couldn't think straight. I describe those times as having a fog over my eyes. Now, when you stop drinking, after a few weeks, that clarity is restored. It doesn't take long at all. But here's the thing. A year into my journey, I felt quite clear about who I was and what I wanted. It was one of the most pleasurable benefits of stopping. However, this has compounded over time massively. Since I don't drink alcohol anymore, my ability to process ideas, information, and create a vision for my life has become a lot easier. Sure, the clarity was there early on in the journey, but as time passes, it has improved by a boatload. I feel more and more clear about who I am and, most importantly, who I am becoming. And this clarity is spread across multiple areas of life. I'm able to communicate better, I can make plans and stick to them, and I can think straight. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of used to it at this point, but if you're thinking of embarking on this journey, the clarity is amazing. The next thing is that you become better at processing negative emotions. Back when I drank alcohol, I often had high levels of anxiety, especially if I was hungover. I'd get this twisting feeling in my chest and it would often immobilize me. I didn't want to speak to people and I kind of just wanted to be alone. When I first stopped drinking, I still had waves of anxiety. And I'll be 100% honest, I still get them to this day. However, now that I've stopped drinking for 2 full years, I've learned how to deal with this emotion so much better than before. I'll be honest, stopping alcohol wasn't the only thing that helped me to process this anxiety, but it definitely didn't hurt. Now, one thing that did help me was improving my ability to meditate. I found learning how to meditate more effectively very beneficial for my anxiety. Another thing that I did was read an amazing spiritual book called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Actually, I buy this book for all of the Sober Clear clients because it's so profound. It explained exactly where the anxiety was coming from in my mind, and it's the ego. It's in my top 3 books of all time and I can't recommend it enough. That being said, stopping drinking, it decreased the waves of anxiety that I get. They've become a lot less frequent, way less intense, and less in duration. Now, I have already made a video talking about alcohol and anxiety, and I'll link you to that in the description. Also, anger and frustration actually becomes a lot easier to deal with. When I drank, I was a lot angrier. Those small, annoying things that would happen in life would often really get to me. As a result of that, I'd have outbursts. I'd shout, I'd swear, I'd punch things. I still get angry to this day. I'm human and I'm far from perfect. But I'm much better at processing that emotion and not allowing it to burst out. I can kind of sit with it and choose how I react. When I was drinking, this was borderline impossible. But now that I've stopped drinking, it's almost like there's a larger gap in between feeling a certain way and then reacting to it. And number 3 is you become a much better role model and leader to those around you. Now, I've read some leadership books in the past. Quite often those books talk about what you can do to become a better leader. That being said, I believe that what you do is nowhere near as important as who you are. When I was drinking, I might have said to a friend, a family member, or whoever that I was going to stop drinking for a month. Now, let's say that I said that and then I drank on the second week. Would that person then see me as like a trustworthy leader that sticks to their word? Absolutely not. They'd see me as kind of fickle and uncommitted. Now, I'm not saying that stopping drinking is going to turn you into like the next Winston Churchill. But when you stop drinking, you become somebody different. You become somebody that other people can start to trust again. You become a man or a woman that actually sticks to their word, which in turn means that you become a better leader to those around you. And as you start to go towards a better quality of life after stopping drinking, other people will start to take notice. Most of the people that I work with in the Sober Clear program, they end up starting businesses, getting their health back on track, and becoming more present with their family and their partners. Think about it. Who do you think is the more inspiring leader? The drinker that can't hold his or her word, or the non-drinker that sticks to their word and is busy improving his or her life? Again, it's not so much about what they say, but by becoming somebody better, they're becoming a better leader. I'll be honest, I know who I'd rather follow anyway. Now, leadership is about influencing and maximizing a group or an individual's effort towards a goal. And when you stop drinking, there are tons of areas where you can start to improve your levels of influence. The first person that you're going to lead is yourself. You lead yourself to a better quality of life. If you have a family, then you're probably going to want to work on influencing them to work towards a common goal of, say, a happy household with lots of love and lots of care. If you have children, you probably want to influence them to make the right kind of decisions in their life. And if you have a business, then you're probably going to want to influence your customers that your product or service is beneficial to their life. Or you may wish to influence your staff or your team to achieve your big mission. Now, all of these things become a lot easier when you change who you are. And in my experience, that started with stopping drinking. When I stopped drinking, I first became a better leader in my personal training business. I was able to lead other people into a life of good health. I became a better partner in my relationship, and I became a more positive influence on my family. And now, my mission is to be a positive influence on other people who want to stop drinking. I've been living my life in a very certain way that's made stopping drinking so enjoyable. Never in a million years would I have had the confidence to lead other people to a better life when I was drinking. But now the alcohol is gone, I can do exactly that. The fourth great thing that's happened is projects move forwards instead of backwards. When I drank alcohol, life was like a roller coaster. There was very rarely any kind of linear progress that lasted a long time. It was always a struggle to push things forward. I had some ambitions even when I drank, but I could never seem to make any kind of big progress on them. For example, the first time that I stopped drinking for a prolonged period of time using willpower, I started a personal training business. This went well, I enjoyed it thoroughly, and it made good progress. But as soon as I started drinking again, everything started going backwards. The business soon disappeared into a pit. Another example was in my relationship. When I was sober, I had a girlfriend. When I started drinking again, the relationship soon went out of the window. You know, all sorts of things have happened. I've dropped out of college courses. I tried to start a YouTube channel in the past, and I almost dropped out of university in my first and second year. See, when I drank alcohol, all of the big projects and goals that I had set for myself rarely moved forward. However, now that I've stopped drinking for 2 full years, my big projects and my goals start to move forward again. When you stop for a prolonged period of time, it gives you a new sense of confidence. You know that the work that you're doing today isn't going to be destroyed by a drug later down the road. You start to realize that each action that you take to push your project or your goals forward is a step in the right direction. You're not going to get knocked down and punched in the face in a few months' time by alcohol. This only happened to me when I went through the first principles approach to stopping drinking. I didn't feel this way when I stopped using AA or willpower. When I understood that alcohol gave me nothing, I knew that I would never drink again. All of the projects and goals finally became within reach once again. Guys, the fifth thing that you realize is that 90% of adults are addicted to poison, and you actually feel bad for them. I'll be honest, when I stopped drinking using willpower and AA, I really believed that I had given something up. I thought that alcohol provided a benefit to my life. I used to look at people that could have just 1 or 2 drinks, and part of me would start to feel envious. I used to wish that I could be like them, a normal drinker, so to speak. Here's the thing, when you stop drinking using the first principles approach, you start to realize that there are 0 benefits to drinking alcohol. That's not one single benefit. 0. Nada. When you go through that process and you observe other drinkers, you actually start to feel bad for them. You start to realize that the only reason that these people drink alcohol is because they want to feel how I feel like all of the time. I wake up and I never want to drink. I feel great pretty much always. The only reason a drinker drinks alcohol is to feel how a non-drinker feels every single day. I stopped drinking for 2 years and I really feel pity for these people. They have been conned into thinking that drinking a poison has benefits. You know, you probably see those 1 in 100 studies that seem to surface every few months, saying that drinkers live longer or whatever, some nonsense like that. So many things in our society paints alcohol in a glamorous, sophisticated and healthy way. Now that I've stopped drinking for 2 years, I see it exactly for what it is. A poisonous drug. Nothing more, nothing less. Now guys, if you do want my personal help to stopping drinking, the Sober Clear coaching program currently has a few spaces available. Now there's a link below this video where you can apply for a consultation call to see if it would make sense for us to work together. I'll be taking you through the first principles mental model and helping you get to the exact same place that I'm in. In the link down below, there are a bunch of reviews and information about the coaching, so check that out and book a call whilst there is space on the calendar. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, do make sure to hit subscribe. You can click the notification bell to get updated whenever we make a new video. And if you click the video on the screen now, I go deeper into the conditioning, and there's also a video on the 4 stages of stopping drinking. I'll see you there.